Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your boy SC1 back on another episode of Meet the Hobby. And we got a local girl to us. We have Stephanie from Socal Sports Cards on the channel today. How you doing, Stephanie?
Hi, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. I love being able to talk to other people in the community, and not only just talk to other people in the community, it's great starting to see more women coming into the hobby. So tell me, on that note, how did that start for you? How did you become a breaker?
Yes, so I've been collecting sports cards kind of like everyone in the hobby when I was little. I loved statistics. I loved knowing, people's shot percentages, batting averages, loved it. So I started collecting cards because I loved the stats on the back, which is so weird. And then, collecting. College hit, and I kind of focused more on school than cards. And then kind of got back into it in like 2018, 2019, and noticed that people were utilizing social media for cards. And so I made a little Instagram just to kind of look at people's pages. And then I noticed people doing this breaking thing. And I was like, what is that? What are these people doing? So I watched breaks for probably a year, honestly. Just watching how people ran things, watching how people engaged with others. And then, just like a lot of people at the start of the pandemic, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And that's when it started. And it started very small, very slow. I think it took like a month for my first break to fill. And then from there, it kind of just took off. And it's been really fun the last, 2 years now. I can't believe it. But yeah, that's kind of just how it started, just being curious and not thinking anything would happen, and then something happened.
No, that's cool. I mean, that's how a lot of everyone, I wouldn't say everyone, but that's the common, journey that everybody's had. From the people I've talked to, is, pandemic, the shutdown was something we've never seen in life, right? So everyone was kind of going stir crazy, and breaking has been a thing, but a lot of us got back in the hobby because of COVID. And I actually love where the hobby's going, in the sense, like, I like standing in Target 5 o'clock in the morning? No one likes that. I kind of miss it, which is really weird. Will say I kind of miss it, because I did meet some great people standing in line and had some great morning conversations with people. But no, I don't miss that part. But I love how it's growing to a point, especially when Fanatics is taking over, that the hobby is just growing. It's all about, growing it in a great positive way. And that's what I like, being able to do these videos and meet the other people. So on sports wise, do you have a particular sport that you just enjoy breaking, or you kind of just like, see what is available to you and that's what you're gonna break?
Yes, so my favorite sport is basketball. I played it forever, so I just will always have a special place in my heart for basketball. Breaking wise, I love baseball. I didn't think I would. I love going to baseball games. I live right by Angel Stadium, so very fun to go to. But baseball collectors, I just learned so much from all of my, I was gonna say guests, but all my customers who are baseball collectors. They just know so much about prospects and about teams and stats. It's just, I learn every time I do a baseball break. I learn something, and I think that's what I love the most, because I love learning. So baseball for sure is my favorite. Now with Bowman around the corner, but yeah, always learning.
Baseball. I'm a baseball nut. Chicago Cubs homer. Even through their bad years, we got one World Series. I'm gonna hold on to that one World Series in the last 108 years. But I'm one of those guys that I will ride or die with the Cubs. I'd rather not watch baseball than root for another team. That's just the way I roll. But when it comes to baseball, I appreciate baseball in so many different aspects. Because the grind to get to the majors, a lot of people don't understand it. Like, for instance, the draft happens. The first round of the draft happened last night, and majority of these guys that get drafted top 10, it was really defensive heavy. But a lot of these guys are probably going to see some starting minutes first year. Where in baseball, you get drafted, and you may not even see the light of day for like 6 years. Because they want to make sure that you're humble. They want to make sure that you're growing and prospecting. I mean, that's why you hear the stories like Tatis making it into the majors so fast. Wander Franco is another one. Acuna, Juan Soto. Like, that's why it's so amazing to see these young guys be able to get to that point so fast, because it's such a grind. And collecting wise, baseball, and again, I'm not trying to get on a high horse or anything, but baseball collectors, as you know, they're the purists of the hobby. Like, they love collecting it. And the reason why I love collecting baseball, me personally, this is how I started. And baseball collectors, it's not a flip game. You hold that card and you see that journey. And you get, like, people went crazy for Wander Franco earlier this year. Like crazy, right? Everyone went crazy for Wander. So when everyone went crazy for Wander, that was probably like one of the only people I've seen really that people went nuts like that over in baseball.
Yes.
Tatis was another one, but that wasn't towards the tail end of Tatis. People went nuts over. Even Shohei wasn't even like that with his rookie year, if I remember correctly. What was it, 2017, 2018, his rookie year? Yeah, and so I don't remember people going crazy for that, but the hunt for Wander was really nuts this year. So, on that note, but so going on to baseball and stuff. So, is your team the Angels now, that being local to Anaheim?
No, I am a walking, I guess, hypocrite. I'm from New England originally, so I'm from Rhode Island. But I love the Yankees. The Yankees are my team. So for once, they're not doing terrible, which is weird. Yes, I love every New England team except the Reds. So the Yankees are my baseball team. I'll root for the Angels. I want to see Shohei do well, like Trout and all that. Like, I love the players. But Yankees. When the Yankees are in town, I'm the Yankees.
No, I get it, because Yankees. Everyone hates the Yankees. I actually appreciate the Yankees. I didn't like what their fans did the other day with throwing stuff and laughing at a guy that got injured. I mean, I don't respect that part. But there are some of the most passionate fans in sports. And the thing about the Yankee fans too is that they are always great, and they, even during right now, like, we're kind of in the downturn, but they still hold themselves in such a high regard, and they're so loyal. So I love that fan base. So before I get further into the interview, let's get into one of your break replays here. And this is one of the probably the cooler, funner products out in the market that people are breaking into right now. Hard to get products.
Yes.
This is F1. So how did you know anything about F1 when you broke it?
No. I knew, like, the heavy hitters. I knew, Hamilton, Verstappen, those guys. And I actually knew, randomly, Sergio Perez out of nowhere, because I had to assist him, like, the week before I opened this box. He stayed at one of the hotels I work at. But I didn't know very much. So I try my hardest if I am breaking F1, sure, especially, even hockey. I've done a little bit of hockey. I wish I had lunch breaks and watch some sort of, like, overview, so I can pronounce the names right, most importantly, especially with soccer, holy moly, and at least know who to be excited for. So this was definitely a learning experience. We got some really good cards, but yeah, short answer, did not know a lick of F1, but I'm getting better.
No, and we all got to start somewhere. I mean, I just started watching the Netflix series. So that's helped a whole lot. I like racing. I was actually got into, for a short period of my life, I was actually really into NASCAR.
Okay.
So when Danica Patrick made the crossover from Indy into NASCARs during the times when I was, I get a lot of heat for saying this, but it's okay. I still root for the guy. I'm a Kyle Busch fan. A lot of people a lot of people hate that guy. But I'm a Toyota guy, so I love Toyota. Yeah, I love Toyota. So it's one of those. Yeah, he's a douche, but he's my douche. So as a breaker, I've always asked this question as a breaker. When you open a product, is it hard
Hmm.
for you to buy a product? Because you're a collector as well. So is
Yes.
it hard for you to get product and then you see that product just sitting as it's filling and you just want to get the itch to open something? Is
Yes. Yes. I don't know how people hold product. I don't know how people do anything when it comes to holding of anything. Um, there are definitely times where I am buying product or, sourcing, looking for product, um, and thinking, oh man, I really want to open this box for myself. It's just sitting here. I, you know, I really want to. And then I don't, I don't break it for myself. But then when you see that it's like a really good box, you're like, oh, darn. But I always am super happy, obviously, like any breaker when the boxes are great. I think I'm maybe a little too sad when they're not. If you ever watch my breaks or anything, I almost take it personally when the boxes aren't great because I want to see my customers, at least break even or, be successful. So I take it really hard when the breaks aren't, as great as we see on social media when we see, everyone getting one of ones and the best RPAs ever, and I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
here's my lowly, autograph that we don't even know who this guy is. So
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part of our about us breaking cards is we want everyone to enjoy. We want everyone. It's entertainment.
yeah,
It's you're into the box for a little bit, then buying it yourself. So that's why I love breaking. That's why we do what we do. Because there is a market for it. Now, some people in the hobby, try to throw unnecessary shade, is like what I call it, to breakers. About we're trying to rip them off and all that stuff, and it to each its own. Everyone collects
right.
differently. Me personally, for instance, this F1 box. If I collected Lewis Hamilton and I don't care about the other guys, I don't want to spend $1,200 and not get a Lewis Hamilton card, right? Like
Right.
that's just I want to pay for it. So if that case, I'd rather just go on eBay and just buy it. So
Right.
same kind of
Yeah.
thing. You don't just buy cards just to buy cards. It's you buy the entertainment value behind it. And it's an enjoyment. Everyone goes to the movies, right? Everyone watches a
Yeah.
show, and we're just all about we're just all about a show. But I'm looking at these cards, and man, look at that. That's a hollow. I can't tell who that is. Oh, there he goes, Zindelli. So on the F1 product, were you really happy after opening this? Like, did you feel satisfied after opening this box?
Yeah, I think overall the break was actually pretty good if I remember correctly. I think everyone, for the most part, got something, and especially when it's a higher end product, more expensive, and when it's random. This break was random. Um, I always try and hope that everybody gets something. So this box, I remember being pretty good enough to the point where everyone was like, "Let's run it back, let's run it back." So when they say that, I know it was it was pretty good.
So on that note, when you say like making sure everybody gets it, and the internet can be a really really cruel place, right? We all know that.
Mhm.
When you run breaks and there's people that wind up with no cards, do you get a lot of heat for it? Like, how do you combat that?
So it's hit or miss. I'll have some customers, reach out after the break saying, "Hey, I didn't get any cards. What can you do for me?" I used to get that a lot when I first started breaking. A lot of people would be like, basically, you owe me because I helped you by participating in the break, but I didn't get anything in return. Um, I would try, depending on the product. I'll post it too if it's, something like an immaculate, which I hardly ever break, or one of those bigger products that's only like 6 cards. If you go hitless, or if you get the last spots, you're only getting the base cards, I'll defer it to kind of make up for the loss in a way. But typically, I'll just have to do the generic kind of, it's part of joining a break. It's part of whatever. It's not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. I kind of turn into my customer service self and kind of do those little things. I wish I could do more, honestly. If I could change one thing about what I do, I wish I could do more for people who don't hit. But I'm not big enough yet, I don't think, to do anything crazy for those who don't, do particularly well in breaks. So
No, and
that's one thing I would change.
that's completely understandable, and that's another thing why I love doing this is because the breakers world is really really tough. It's really hard what we do, and a lot of the misconception out there is that we take advantage of people and we make all this crazy crown of money, and that's absolutely not the case. You know, we like breaking because we like to, you know, one, get to know the product that's coming out. We get to enjoy the rush of opening up the pack. But there's also a lot of costs involved. We got to pack, we got to ship, there's time. I mean, are you a one-man show, or do you actually have help?
No, it's just me, so I do it all.
Yeah,
It's
so
blessing
the
and a
sorting
curse.
and shipping part, I would imagine, is your most favorite, right?
Oh yes. Oh gosh. Love it.
Yes, and so it gets really really hard, and you know we try to do our best to satisfy people, and there's just sometimes that's the way the cards fall. So when you break, are you usually only breaking hobby, or do you actually try to mix in some retail to make sure somebody at least gets something?
I do a little bit of everything. So I do hobby, obviously. I dabble into retail because it's cheaper. So I try and also do breaks for every price point. So I have customers who, you know, don't mind spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on product. I have customers who, you know, their budget might be a little bit smaller than that. So I try and do a little bit of everything to kind of hit all the points. So to make sure people can afford it, because, you know, I personally can't afford the hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I kind of think with that mindset. And then also retail and things to have a better chance of getting something great at a lesser cost. So I do a little bit to kind of hit everybody's wants and needs, which is another fun game we like to play.
Yeah, you know that's the thing too. You can never satisfy everybody. But as long as you're doing your best and you're going at it with the right purpose, that's all that should matter. So,
Yeah.
we'll say in the last year, what was your favorite product that you broke? I love those checkered cards.
Oh, me too.
Oh, those checkered cards are great.
Oh man, that is so tough. Oh man, I love so many things. I really loved, this is random, Merlin Soccer.
Oh,
Random, loved it. The cards were like a little bit thicker. They were just like beautiful. They were like almost like foamy. It was very weird, but I loved them. Really good stuff. Beautiful cards. I loved for a moment when Mosaic Football first came out and it was brand new. Loved that. I really do love baseball cards. I like never anticipated myself loving baseball cards again as much as I did. But I love like the triple threads. Love that a lot actually. And even like the Panini products. I know baseball and Panini don't go hand in hand with collectors. But like Prism Baseball I think is beautiful. Immaculate Baseball, we did a few breaks of that. Gorgeous cards. I mean, just, you know, just missing the logo. But those are a few that stand out that I remember. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, those are the big ones actually. Baseball and soccer shocked me the most with how much I loved products.
It's funny you say that because I'm one of those guys that I don't care if it's non-licensed. I like what Panini does with baseball. I actually think Panini's QA is better on baseball than it is on any of the other sports.
Yeah.
I for just from breaking and seeing, they do a lot better in terms of the quality and the feel, the look of the card. You know, opened up so many different packs of Prism before, and you see the off centering, and it's like, come on, guys, like really, like you could have done a little bit better. Where
Yeah,
baseball,
no,
you don't come
sure.
across as much. And you know, so I agree with you on that. I love baseball. So if baseball's your favorite, what would you say is if you had to always break one product, what would that be?
Oh, that's so tough. Oh man, I would say probably. Oh, that's so hard. It'd be one of two, either Bowman Sapphire, and that can be either Bowman or Draft. I'll take either or. I think the Sapphire cards are just beautiful. Or I love Museum Collection too. It just popped up in Museum Collection. Dope. Love it. I know it's not like the most popular thing on the planet, but it's just great. I just love that you can get like old timers, like super old timers, super newcomers. I'm just a sucker for it all. So one of those two.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I would say if I have one product right now that I would say if I had to choose one, present day, present time, it would have to be probably Inception. Inception's probably one of my Inception's probably one of my most favorite. But if we're talking Bowman, Bowman Draft is always a fun product.
Always.
Yeah, it's always a fun product, and of course, they're all prospects, but
Right.
It's so cool knowing who the higher prospects are. Like for instance, I thought it was crazy when Jason Dominguez's card came out, his first card, and the people were buying that card for so much money.
Yeah.
I think the highest sale I saw on eBay was like like $5,000 for his Bowman first. It was a Bowman first Chrome Prism, I believe is what it was. And yeah, you're like, this guy hasn't even made it into the big league. So I mean, Wander is another guy. His card didn't sell like that when he first came out, but once he first came out, now his cards are starting to sell, in the 4 digits ranges for his Bowman first card. I think I saw a blue first card sell for like $6,000 the other day.
Oh.
But it was graded. It was graded, but still. It's still.
Yeah.
So wait, ungraded, because you're a long collector. Are you? What is your PC looking like? Are you one of those that likes to collect cards and you have to put them in a slab? Or are you still kind of like the old collector where it doesn't necessarily have to be graded? You just like to keep it.
I am old school, so this is crazy. I have never gotten cards graded. I've purchased cards and traded for cards that are graded. I've never actually gone through the grading process myself, probably due to some like fear of rejection or something, like explainable. But I'm old school. I have just like boxes and boxes in my apartment that are just taking up space of my PC cards. And I am like super old school in collecting, where I collect teams. So I don't collect I collect certain players, but like basically Yankees, Celtics, and Patriots. I'll have like kind of thousands of cards of just teams. So that's kind of where I'm at. I have to actually totally do those, but super old school when it comes to how I collect myself, which I should probably reevaluate that.
And you know what? But that's every old collector has boxes and boxes and boxes of just base cards, and that's I think that's the cool part about today's hobby, where for me I could kind of differentiate who's the old collectors. Like for me, I'm a hoarder. Like even those non-valued base cards that you could sell for in the nickel buckets at a card show, I still don't even like get rid of those, because it's just, I feel bad. Like I feel like it's such a waste of cardboard. Like we could repurpose it somehow, Right. So you said you're a Celtics fan?
Super duper Celtics fan, yeah. And a great time to be one, finally. But
One of our other guys, Piper, he's a die-hard Celtics fan. So gonna be a very, very interesting series.
I'm preparing for the worst. I'm mentally preparing for it. I don't know. This Celtics team's pretty. I don't know. I think they can do it. It's just gonna be exhausting. It'll be fun to watch.
I think their defense is very, very good this time around. If they shut down KD the way they did, they're gonna give Milwaukee fits, for sure. I mean, I'm a Bulls guy. Unfortunately, we had to deal with injury upon injury upon injury.
Yeah.
But, that's how the cards rolled sometimes. But, so, back onto the Yankees. You're a big Yankee fan. So, you've been collecting a long time. If you had to choose that one player in your collection that you're saying, this is my guy, and I cannot get rid of any other card except this guy, who would that guy be?
Oh, that is so hard. Well, besides like the obvious, like Derek Jeter, I feel like he's just for a Yankee fan, he's like in a, section that's like an automatic. Oh, wow. I would go either two different players, either Hideki Matsui,
Ooh,
which is kind of random. Yeah, that was a loop. Or probably it'd be another toss-up. So, okay, Hideki Matsui, Andy Pettit, or probably Mariano Rivera. Those would be my other three.
You know, I'm a big Jeter fan. I think outside, again, I'm biased because I'm a Cubs guy. Javi Baez to me is so far my favorite shortstop of all time, just because of what he does defensively. He plays second base and shortstop like the same exact way. The guy's fielding view, or should I say fielding range, is so unbelievable. I wish his bat was better, but Derek Jeter was one of those guys, was just like, oh my God, like, I am so privileged to be able to watch this guy. With that being said, though, in my opinion, I think Mr. Yankee in the last 20 years has to be Mariano Rivera. Yeah, I think Mariano's greater than Jeter. A lot of people, I get into this debate with a lot of people, but a lot of people are like, you know, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that suggestion.
Right.
You know, you can't sit there and say like George Girardi was your best, you know, the best Yankee of all time. You know,
right.
or David Cohn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Mariano, Derek Jeter, super great. You know, love him. But I feel like other people can do what he did. You know, like, I think people can have very similar careers to Derek Jeter. He just also happened to be like a superstar. You know, like, he was very marketable, you know, good-looking guy, dated celebrities. You know, he had like that. He was New York. You know, if you think about like New York. But Mariano, like, I don't think anyone can do what he did for so long. It's kind of like, I hate to say I'm LeBron. Like, you can't, that length of time, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that, probably ever. Like, he was just, oh man.
Yeah.
Good times.
No, I agree. So back onto your breaking. Like, how do you list your breaks and stuff? Like, do you normally just list only on Instagram? What platforms are you actually on right now?
So I have a Facebook page that I truthfully don't use. I'm actually gonna try and get Facebook going a little bit more. Right now I just post on Instagram. So I'll post, you know, intermittently throughout the day. I don't really have a set schedule for when I post breaks, just to keep everyone on their toes, so that, you know, for the higher end teams and also the teams, everyone gets the most equal opportunity to claim them. So right now, posting on Instagram, just reposting, and I give all of my breaks about a week to fill. And then if they don't, we just move on to the next thing. If they do, you know, we run pretty quickly afterwards. So right now, just Instagram, but I'm currently looking into ways to expand my audience to try and get breaks to fill a little bit quicker, and we can run, you know, more and hopefully better product too.
Nice. Okay, so if you're active on Facebook, I don't know if you saw any of our other videos. I had the pleasure of speaking to Sarah Layton from Layton Sports Cards. She was on the channel, and she's a very, very big advocate of women in the hobby. So they actually have a Facebook page called Women. I think it's called Women in Cards. So check them out. If you're not a part of that group, go ahead and join that group. The only requirement to join that group is to be a woman. And so you do have to be a woman to join that group. But that's it. And it's to keep the safe place for women to grow without the pressures of you know, it's a male dominated industry, right? She created this, she helped create it with some others to create the space for women to join in. So if you have a chance, go ahead and join the group. And if you haven't, if you look at her Instagram profile, she has a link. Actually, signups are done tomorrow. They're doing a giveaway for Nationals this year. They're giving away 8 VIP tickets. They're doing a random drawing, and you can win a VIP ticket. So if you wanted to go to Nationals in Atlantic City, it is a experience you need to go to. It's so fun to go. So definitely check that out. But it looks like maybe it was just me. I think the replay is starting over again. Okay. So I thought it's just me. So a couple more questions for you on breaking. Yeah. So everything's listed on eBay. You break on eBay. So is it all your breaks are not on a schedule? It's kind of fill the break.
Yes. So everything that I break is posted randomly. So I used to have a posting schedule. I used to say, okay, I'm going to post on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which kind of accommodates to all the time zones. um, but people, I was getting feedback that since I posted when I was going to when I was going to post, that the same people were getting the top tier teams because they would set alarms. So to avoid those concerns, I now post on Instagram just kind of whenever. I try to make it so that it accommodates all time zones, to make it fair. But yeah, so now I post randomly just to, again, give everybody a shot at those top couple teams, because I usually do pick your team format. So that's keep it fair. Yeah.
yeah. So are do you actually run a lot of randoms?
I don't, and I've actually recently have been getting more feedback to do at least the format of like pick one team, get 2 random for like baseball or basketball, or like 3 random like tiered teams. I've run a few breaks of both of those formats and they've been successful. I just also gotten feedback with those that some people don't like the random, or the price point's a little bit higher because so I'm going to try and pepper in some more randoms in there just to, again, accommodate different types of collectors or different types of people who join breaks. So I'm always adapting and trying my hardest to
it's
give the people what they want.
Yeah, it's a forever revolving door, and it's just the evolution. Yeah. It just keeps revolving and growing. It keeps going like that. It's like an upward escalator. So I get it. Trust me, I totally get it. So IG is a specific platform you're on, and you're looking to expand. Be on the lookout, everybody. All her social Instagram link is going to be down in the description below. Now, we talked about earlier your favorite product. In the last year, what would you say was that most disappointing product?
Oh, that's tough. I'm trying to think back with everything. It's been, man, I feel like every product can be disappointing. No. Oh Lord. We ran, there hasn't been a product recently that I can think of that like every time we've broken it, it's just been painful. I want to say just basketball in general recently has been pretty painful. We've done, Flex was really bad, actually, now if I think about it. Flex basketball was terrible.
Oh, yes. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Now that I'm actually having to think about it, I think we ran 2 or 3 breaks of that, and I just felt so bad. Like it was, you couldn't even like fake being excited. Like it was just, yeah, that was hard. That was a hard, 30 minutes.
Yeah, if I had to choose one, it would probably, Flex basketball was a little bit hard. That Contenders box you have in the background there, that was a pretty rough one for us.
Oh yeah.
And
this year's Contenders was hard.
Yeah, and actually, I love Phoenix. Phoenix is my favorite product, but this release of Phoenix has been really, really tough. We broke 8 boxes of Phoenix, and not one Mac Jones card was pulled.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was pretty rough, but we pulled almost every variation of Trevor Lawrence. I will tell you that. Yeah. we pulled almost every variation of Trevor Lawrence, but we did not pull one Mac Jones. So that, and that's one of the highest shout out players, and that commands the dollar amounts. And so, when you see people pay that kind of fee and they don't go, that's kind of like, oh, I know, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Definitely.
But we're approaching about 40 minutes of this video. I'm gonna wrap it up. Do you have any last couple parting words, Stephanie?
I mean, first off, thank you for asking me to be a part of this. This is super cool what you have going on here, so I really do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just like super excited to continue growing and learning mostly. And yeah, hopefully we can get more women in the hobby. Hopefully we can get some more like positivity going. And I feel like the hobby, as far as that is going in a great direction. So I'm really excited to see kind of how we can all grow together and have some fun.
Yes, and again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be able to do this video. Like I said, main purpose of this is to let everyone know the misconception out there is that breakers are kind of always against each other, and that is not really the case. Our community only grows if we grow, and if we get to meet one another. It's not a competition. It's you break differently than the way we break. You break different products the way we break. There's enough food out there for everyone to eat. And so I appreciate being able to get to know other breakers that kind of share the same mentality. And if you don't, that's great. You do you. As long as you're not throwing unnecessary shade at people, that's all I ask. But but we love to keep the hobby positive. We like to keep it fun. But I'm gonna cut this video off. I'm your boy SC1. This is Stephanie of Socal Sports Cars. Follow her on IG. Give her a thumbs up on her post, or a heart on her post. And and we'll catch you at the next episode, guys. Peace out.
Thank you.